The Empire had ruled the galaxy for centuries. Every star, every civilization, every record was under their watch. Nothing could escape their knowledge. Or so they thought. In the central command tower, screens flashed with data from thousands of systems. Archivists, historians, and fleet officers scrolled through records, checking for anomalies. And then something impossible appeared. Admiral, there's a system. A planet. It's not in the records, said a junior officer, voice trembling. The Admiral frowned, leaning closer to the holographic map. What do you mean? Every star has been catalogued. Every civilization accounted for. This system, Earth, it doesn't exist in any historical log, the officer said. No trade records, no population data. Nothing. The room went silent. No record? A senior historian whispered. Are you sure? Check the archives again. They checked again. And again. No record of humanity existed. No mention in maps. No reports of their technology. No fleets. Nothing. The silence in the room turned into panic. The Empire had no tolerance for anomalies. A civilization that didn't exist in their records could not be ignored. Orders came instantly. The fleet would investigate. The anomaly would be destroyed if necessary. Within hours, a war fleet was mobilized. Thousands of ships, bristling with weapons, moved toward the hidden human world. The commanders were confident. After all, the humans supposedly didn't exist. They were a minor, unknown species. Easy targets. Meanwhile, humans on Earth noticed nothing unusual on the surface. No alarms blared. No speeches were given. Cities moved as usual. Factories worked. Children went to school. And deep below the planet, in hidden command centers, humans watched the approaching fleet with calm eyes. Lieutenant Urek spoke to Admiral Reyna. They're coming. Hundreds of ships. Thousands of soldiers. They expect a quick victory. Reyna smiled slightly. Let them expect. They have no idea what waits. Humans had prepared for centuries. Hidden fleets, ancient warships, advanced technology lost to time, all were ready. Protocols older than the Empire itself were activated. Every sensor, every weapon, every strategy aligned perfectly. The Empire's warfleet crossed the outer boundary. Their sensors scanned for life, but something was wrong. No signals. No fleets. No cities transmitting data. It was as if the planet was dead. The Empire laughed at first. They are primitive. Nothing to worry about, a commander said. But then the first ships reported anomalies. Engines fluctuating. Weapons misfiring. Navigation failing. Panic began to spread. The Empire tried to respond, but every attempt to gain control failed. Commands didn't reach the ships. Systems acted strangely. Something unseen, something they had never catalogued, was at work. On Earth, Admiral Reyna watched the fleet's movements on her console. They are arrogant, she said quietly. They believe absence in the records means weakness. Let them learn. Minutes passed. Then hours. And the fleet, confident and cruel, began to vanish. One ship at a time, then entire squadrons disappeared from the scanners. No explosions. No debris. Just gone. Empire commanders screamed in disbelief. Impossible. They can't just vanish. Reyna's voice was calm as she turned to her officers. They forgot one rule. Underestimate humanity at your own peril. We exist. And we are always ready. The galaxy did not yet know the humans. They were quiet. They were hidden. They were patient. But the moment the Empire realized humanity had never been in their records, it was already too late. Minutes later, the war fleet that came to destroy them had vanished. And the humans were still on their planet, silent, watching, waiting, and completely in control. The lesson would spread through the stars soon enough. Underestimate humanity, and you disappear. The galaxy expected chaos. The Empire believed they were unstoppable. Their fleets moved through space with precision, weapons ready, fleets bristling with energy. They expected a simple victory over an unknown species. But humans did not respond. On Earth, cities continued as normal. Children played, factories hummed, and ships in orbit remained perfectly aligned, hidden from sensors. Every human crew followed silent instructions. Every human weapon waited in the shadows. Admiral Rena stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute. She watched the approaching fleet on her display, her eyes calm. "They believe we are weak," she said. "They believe absence in their records equals inferiority. Let them believe. It will make their mistake more complete." Lieutenant Urek studied the sensors. "They're sending multiple strike groups, all of them heading straight for Earth. They expect easy targets. They think we are primitive." Reyna nodded. "Good. Let them think that. Silence is our ally." Below the surface, humans activated centuries-old protocols. Ancient warships, hidden and dormant for decades, powered up. Advanced energy systems hummed quietly. Fleet formations calculated every trajectory, every escape route, every potential strike by the Empire. The human fleet did not move in numbers. It moved in precision. Shadows of ships appeared only where needed. Weapon systems were aligned with mathematical perfection. Energy shields adjusted automatically, reacting faster than any Empire computer could track. The Empire monitored their sensors, confused. The planet appeared empty. No fleets, no weapons, no signals. "Are they even here?" one Krell commander asked. "They shouldn't exist. How is this possible?" The Empire's analysts scrambled, checking archives again and again. Nothing. No historical data. No past records. No mentions in trade, in fleets, in intelligence reports. Humans had been erased from the galaxy's memory. And now they were awake. Admiral Rena activated the secondary fleet. Hidden stations from decades past sent stealth ships into orbit. They aligned perfectly, forming a perimeter invisible to enemy sensors. "We are ready," she said softly. "All protocols engaged. Observation only. Do not engage until necessary. Let arrogance do the work." The Empire, confident and impatient, began to probe the atmosphere. Drones and scout ships sent signals. Weapon systems tested. Every move meant to intimidate, and humans observed silently. They monitored every strike vector, every scan, every approach. Nothing moved without human knowledge. Every energy spike was recorded, analyzed, and countered in real time. On the command deck, Rena's officers worked in perfect synchronization. Each ship, each drone, each weapon system followed precise instructions. Humans did not need to shout. They did not need to prove themselves. They only needed to wait. The Empire had no idea. They had triggered the humans' response by underestimating them. They believed in brute force. They believed in history. They believed that a species absent from records could be destroyed without effort. Minutes passed. The Empire moved closer. Their weapons flared. Their confidence grew, and the humans did nothing because patience was their weapon. Control was their shield. Knowledge was their sword. The Empire could not yet see it, but the moment they entered human-controlled space, they would realize their mistake, and by then, it would already be too late. The Empire believed victory was near. Their war fleet surged through the void. Weapons ready, shields flaring, engines glowing. Every captain expected the humans to panic, to surrender, to die. but Earth remained quiet. No fleets rose to meet them. No weapons flared from orbit. It was as if the planet were deserted. Admiral Reyna observed the approaching ships from the bridge of the flagship Resolute. "They are confident," she said. "They think absence in the records means weakness. Let them learn the truth." Lieutenant Urek monitored sensors, his fingers dancing across the control panels. Thousands of vessels, all aligned for attack. "They are fast but predictable." "Predictable is good," Reyna replied. "Now we act." The humans did not rush to fire. They did not try to impress. Every ship in orbit, every hidden station, every ancient warship quietly aligned with perfect timing. Then, simultaneously, humans activated their systems. The first Krell scout was disabled instantly. Its engines stalled. Its sensors fried. A silent, invisible wave spread across the enemy fleet, disabling weapons, crippling propulsion, and corrupting communication systems. Confusion erupted. What is happening?" One Krell captain yelled. Commands were shouted. Fleet formations faltered. Ships drifted helplessly. The Empire fired blindly. Their superweapons flared, energy beams tore across space, missiles streaked toward the planet. Nothing worked. Engines flared and then died. Weapons misfired. Shields collapsed as if invisible hands had pulled the plugs. Humans did not panic. Humans did not shout. They moved with calm, controlled precision. Every strike of the Empire was countered. Every action was anticipated. Every ship was guided perfectly. "Target their command ships," Reyna ordered quietly. "Do not destroy the rest. Control is the weapon here." A Krell admiral screamed, "This is impossible. Nothing can counter us." The humans had already done it. Entire squadrons vanished from scanners. Ships drifted powerless, their captains screaming into dead communication channels. The Empire could not understand what was happening. Their fleet, the pride of their civilization, was falling apart without a single human weapon fired in anger. Every human sensor recorded every move. Every disabled ship was noted. Every misfired weapon logged. Humanity was not destroying the Empire in chaos, they were orchestrating it. Minutes later, the first strike wave ended. Ships that survived were powerless. Fleets were stranded. Commanders were helpless. And through it all, human fleets remained calm, organized, and invisible. The Krell Emperor's face appeared across the galaxy-wide broadcast. His eyes were wide with fear. "This cannot be. They should not exist. What have we awakened?" Reyna leaned back, her eyes steady. "They never knew we existed," she said. "And now they are learning why that was a mistake." The galaxy watched. Empires whispered. Historians recorded the moment humanity revealed its true power not through fire and chaos, but through control, patience, and intelligence. The first strike had ended. The Empire's arrogance had brought its fleet to ruin, and humanity had barely begun. Empire's war fleet was in chaos. Ships drifted powerless through space. Weapons failed. Engines stalled. Communication channels went silent. Commanders screamed orders that never reached their captains. Their pride, their centuries of power, dissolved in minutes. Humans remained calm. Every ship, every weapon, every protocol acted with precision. They had not rushed into battle. They had not fired indiscriminately. They had observed, calculated, and now executed their plan with perfection. Admiral Reyna's voice echoed through the flagship Resolute. "Contain them. Disable everything. Avoid unnecessary destruction. Humanity strikes with control, not chaos." Hidden human fleets moved. Systems long thought abandoned flickered to life. Ancient warships emerged from hidden corridors of space. They surrounded the remaining Krell vessels silently, invisibly, like shadows waiting for the right moment. The Empire tried to regroup. Thousands of ships formed battle lines. Superweapons activated. Missiles and plasma beams fired. Yet, one by one, they were neutralized, not destroyed, but rendered useless. Engines stalled mid-flight. Shields collapsed. Weapons jammed. Every strike redirected, every maneuver anticipated. Panic spread from the lowest-ranked captains to the Emperor himself. "Impossible!" he shouted. "We should dominate. How is this happening?" The humans did not respond. They did not boast. They acted with cold calculation. Every action was precise. Every target neutralized. Every life outside combat preserved. Humanity's strategy was perfect control, not unnecessary destruction. Lieutenant Yurek watched the sensors. "Entire squadrons gone, sir. They can't fight back. They don't even know we are here." "Good," Reyna said. "Let them learn that arrogance has consequences." The Empire's leaders realized too late. Their war declaration had been a fatal mistake. By ignoring humans, by erasing them from history, they had triggered their own downfall. Humans moved systematically. Command ships were paralyzed first. Fleet formations fell apart. Supply lines and war stations were neutralized. Civilian worlds remained untouched, but the Empire's military might was erased. The galaxy watched in disbelief. No one had ever seen such precise power. Humans had not overwhelmed with numbers. They had not fired in anger. They had controlled, disabled, and judged everything with absolute efficiency. Minutes passed. Entire fleets were adrift, powerless. The Krell Emperor could only watch, helpless. His voice shook across every channel. "This cannot be." "How?" Reyna's eyes remained steady. "They never recorded us. They never expected us. And now they understand what that means." The Empire's fleets were gone. Their war stations offline. Their command structures destroyed. And through it all, humans had not wasted a single life unnecessarily. The galaxy learned a hard truth. True power was not just firepower. True power was control, knowledge, patience, judgment. Humans had erased the invaders, not in chaos, not in anger, but with precision, and the Empire would never forget it. The war was over. The Empire's fleets were gone. Command stations were dead. Planets once under their control floated silent and powerless. The galaxy had watched in awe and in fear at what humanity had done. But on Earth, there was no celebration. No banners. No speeches. Humans repaired their own ships, helped survivors, and restored systems quietly. Civilians lived their lives. Cities hummed with normalcy. Humanity had judged, and they had done it with restraint. Admiral Reyna stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, looking at the stars. "We did not fight for pride," she said softly. "We fought for control, for survival, and for balance. That is true power." Lieutenant Yurek nodded. "They thought absence in history meant weakness. They thought we were primitive. They were wrong." Across the galaxy, observers recorded every move. Scholars, diplomats, and commanders spoke in hushed tones. Humans had erased a war fleet, controlled the deadliest weapons, and yet spared life wherever possible. Not with chaos, but with perfect strategy, humans sent a single broadcast. Short, precise, clear. Do not underestimate what you do not understand. Power is knowledge, control, and judgment. Arrogance will be punished. Let this be a lesson to the galaxy. The message spread faster than any fleet. Civilizations trembled. Alliances began to respect human borders. Historians rewrote galactic records. Humanity had proven a hard truth. A species absent from records could not be ignored. Underestimated or mocked out on Earth, life continued. Children played. Scientists studied. Leaders planned quietly for the future. Victory had a name, restraint. Admiral Reyna looked at the stars one last time. "They sent a fleet to erase us," she said. "They did not believe we existed, and yet we remain." The galaxy learned something else that day. Humans did not need to shout. They did not need to boast. They acted with precision, patience, and intelligence. They became rulers without claiming titles. They became legends without seeking glory. The empire would never recover. Their arrogance had been their downfall. And humanity would never be forgotten, for the humans of Earth were no longer just survivors. They were strategists. They were judges. They were unstoppable. And the galaxy had learned, in the hardest way possible, underestimate humanity at your own peril.